Real question is, did Last Resort actually improve their shoe like they said they were going to do? More grip, flex, durability with the easier removable sole, everything like that. That's what I want to dive into in this video. Got some new shoes to open up here in a second. Super excited. This is an update of a shoe I've been waiting for. I'm really excited about it. Now, to my surprise, Last Resort actually sent me 4 or 5 different pairs. I can't even remember, it's been so long. And I've skated all of them. It's been like 6 months. So in this video, I do want to talk about them all. First, I want to start with the canvas pair of shoes. There is subtle changes. We'll talk about those subtle changes in their newest shoe. Once I get through some of the simple things that I think are crucial to think about before buying these shoes. Now, my opinion on the canvas version of the shoes, this is a canvas shoe right here, is that they are the sexiest or the coolest. They actually do have the most board control in general. However, it's not the most economical shoe. As you can see, it rips pretty quick right here. Well, not pretty quick, you don't know how quick, but it did rip pretty quick. I'm not much of a flip tricker, so I think if you're flipping your board a lot and you're just kind of using this edge of the shoe a lot in most of your shoes, this isn't a very economical shoe for you. I think it's a really cool shoe if you want to go out, date night, hang out, but I don't think it's a very good skate shoe for the price. That's just my opinion. I think it's a really cool shoe to get if you don't want to skate it. Essentially, like I would get a pair of these just to have on the non-skate session, kind of like my Birkenstocks. You know, I love the Birkenstocks. These are like the good chilling shoe, essentially. Just because they're canvas, they rip so quick, and that's just the nature of the material. But I do think it's a really cool shoe, so much board control. It's just, if you're paying full price for them, I don't know how economically efficient that really is. This shoe right here is the VM1. I've skated these for months and you can barely tell. The bottom is a pretty good giveaway. I'm not going to be too redundant about the last video I talked about. I think the sole does wear down pretty quick. However, it's not as quick as the previous shoes that I had. So I think the one model I had did wear down really quick. You see the separation that does happen over time. And the only other thing that I can complain about is the inside sort of slips off. This little part, as you can see, that was really gross. And that's probably because I have really sweaty feet naturally. When I skate a lot, I'm skating for a long time, they tend to kind of come off. And that didn't happen right away. This took like weeks for it to happen. So it's not like it happens right away. And then, you know, the insole is still pretty in there actually right now. If I wanted to take it off, I have to go really slow. Still the same complaints as far as the insole goes, but the top of the shoe is so strong. Like I said, you can barely see anything. So I think it's definitely worth it. You get some like, you know, separation coming from up there. As far as like durability, it's really good, has really good board control, not as much as the canvas, still has that really good controllable, has a nice bend and flex to it. You know, overall, I think it's a really good shoe. I think it's probably one of the strongest shoes. As you can see, all along this edge, it started to kind of like rub away instead of chip away. There's a little chip right there, but a lot of shoes, what they end up doing is chip, and then there's just more and more deterioration that happens. These, it almost like more of like a rub, like the compound rubbed into it, which I think is a really cool way for the shoe to withstand some abrasion. So this is what my tape and my shoes look like after about 3 knee slides, not very proper knee slides. I'm still figuring out how to knee slide. It's not my instinct reaction, but it's actually not too bad. The tape is definitely covering my laces. You could tell it broke through right away. I just need some more industrial tape. Now, out of all the models I've skated, I think this mid-top, sort of high-top kind of shoe is the best, in my opinion, for the type of skating that I do. Obviously, all this stuff is really subjective to the type of skating you do. I'm not a big flipping on my board type of person. I do a lot of knee slides. That's something new that I just started doing, trying to skate transition, learn big airs, learn inverts, stuff like that. So I've really been trying to wear knee pads more often. I don't do it every session, but probably at least 5 times out of the month. In these shoes, I've been wearing my knee pads with quite a lot. A lot of times what people do, they actually tape the top of their shoes so that when you're knee sliding, it's just not pulling the whole shoe apart. However, it just doesn't look very good when you're looking down the shoe. I've tried it. I think it does help and it works some ways, but honestly, this shoe is so strong that even knee sliding, with all those knee slides down here, you can see that it didn't really fall apart. Like all these different shoes, you can see where it started to kind of rip away right here on the nose. Like that's just from dragging my shoe upside down on the concrete from knee sliding essentially. So it does get worn down over time. However, they're really, really strong. And I think because the VM1s don't have too many seams down here, for knee slides, it's really good. It just eventually just starts to wear down that front area, and that's just gonna happen within time. So as far as like, if you're someone that knee slides and skates a lot of training, still wants that ankle support, I think this is a really, really good shoe. I would say that it has more board control, more flexibility than the Van Skate Hi or the Lizzie Armantos or any of the Vans mids that I've skated, I think these have more board control and they keep their stiffness and their durability for longer. Like a lot of times what the Vans do, they start to get floppy after a week or two. I will say that these kept their shape and their structure for a really long time. Like I can still wear these shoes. The only part is the bottom. So eventually the bottom gets down to where it's like pretty worn down and you wear down the insole, so it starts to hurt your feet if you're jumping down too much. That impact is just not good. So I actually blow out the bottom of these shoes before I end up blowing out the top. But I think they're really good for knee slides. Like I said, there's some, definitely wear down on these, but I've been abusing them. I think they're the strongest shoe for doing knee slides in my opinion. Now, because spending $100 on skate shoes, you know you're gonna rip them, you know you're gonna destroy them. You still want them to look good. You don't want to sacrifice too much look. And with Last Resort, what I really like is that it's very simple. There's not a lot of branding. There's not a big swoosh on the side of it. I'm not a walking billboard, but I'm getting a nice classic skate shoe, has a good silhouette, it's durable, and I'm supporting a skate brand owned by skaters. That is the big thing that's important to me. There's a lot of shoe brands that you can go to out there that aren't, owned by skaters. And I'm not saying you have to support skater owned. That's just the integrity that I like to purchase at. So I feel good about buying these shoes. I'm supporting the cause. With that said, let's see what new shoes I got here. Pretty sure you might have a good guess. Is it gonna be a box in a box? Always a box in the box. Why did they put a box in the box? Why not just send the shoes in their box? Well, big surprise. So this time I got the VM3, which is pretty cool. Has a whole different kind of shape to it. Like I said, they always hook you up with the extra laces, and they're black this time. Pretty hyped to have some extra black laces. Last time I had the white laces, which is kind of hard on the black shoes. Don't love it. Here we go, the final reveal, baby. So these ones aren't black on black. They didn't have that. These are the only ones they had in my size. You can see the front. It has a whole different, tighter nose cap area. We're gonna dive into these, lace them up at the skate park, get some initial thoughts. I'm excited. They look even stronger, so I'm excited to lace these bad boys up, break them in. Got all the old pairs of Last Resorts in case anybody does want to wear them. So unfortunately our session got a little bit cut short at City Heights Skate Park, so I don't have enough experience with these shoes to tell you whether or not they're an upgrade from the previous Last Resort model. So I do want to go hit the park one more session, probably for like an hour or so, and then I'll give you some initial thoughts if I think this is an upgrade, if it's worth buying, and just some general thoughts on this shoe. So far, I definitely have some feedback. I also noticed I got quite a few scuffs right there on the edge, and only did like one kickflip, but that's how it goes. They're skate shoes. They will get used and abused. Let's get one more session on them, and then I'll give you some thoughts.
الدنيا بالله يا رفيقي تبقى القوة في حضن الطبيعة. الدنيا فيها الشقاوة ما ننسى فيها الحلاوة. الدنيا فيها الحسادة ما ننسى فيها السعادة. الدنيا فيها المودة يا إنسان فيها المحبة. الدنيا الشقاوة فيها الدنيا بالله يا رفيقة تبقى القوة في حضن الطبيعة.
So in full transparency, I actually didn't realize these are drop 8. These are the drop 8 shoes that Last Resort said they're gonna be improving. And what those improvements were, Last Resort essentially said in the last video, they saw at Fair Points, we get asked about the outsole and why it wears down faster than the upper. So we listen and work on things. So they're working on it, is what they said. Starting drop 8, which is these shoes, we've modified the rubber composition to withstand more abrasion. It's a fine line between grip and flex versus durability. So from drop 8, we also have the new insole, still glued with softer glue for people that want to remove them, and twice as dense foam for improved cush. It's a work in progress, life of a shoe producer. That's straight from the words of Last Resort. So are these an actual improved shoe? Did they do what they said they're gonna do? Is the sole better? Now with some experience throughout these shoes, I can tell you that I think it is an improved shoe. One of the things that I really like right away is that they added some vents on the side. You have these little vents. And the reason I think that's really important, because like I said in the beginning of the video, I was sweating out the insoles and they're just like kind of falling apart. Now the other thing they said is there's more cush and it's less glued in. I don't really want to try to take the soles out. I'm going to try, oh wow. Oh wow. Oh yeah, it came out super easy. It's already coming off, like that whole back end. And it's not separating. Before, with Last Resort, when you try to remove it, a lot of the actual sole would stick to the shoe, so you had to do it really slow. So I think they did do what they said they're gonna do. The sole is removable a lot easier, and it is thicker. Like that looks so much thicker than it was before. They almost added like a whole nother bottom panel to the shoe. So I do think this is an improved shoe. I do think that they did what they said they were gonna do, and it does seem more durable. Also, obviously it has this tighter nose area, toe cap, the seam goes all the way down versus the last shoe where it kind of just warped around. So I do think they're improving the shoe, and I do think they are making one of the best skate shoes. Overall, I'm pretty hyped about these shoes. I think they're good. I'm definitely gonna be probably getting them again. The green tag, I think that's how you know they're drop 8. Also in the inside, I actually didn't realize that they were drop 8 until I saw it in the inside, because I just thought VM3, like that's cool. So these are the improved shoe from Last Resort. I really like them so far. Obviously I haven't skated the shit out of them yet. I've skated them like 5 sessions up to this point. I mean, the back of them, you can tell it's already much stronger. Like in the last shoes, all this back area was just worn down so quick. So I do think it is an improved shoe. I do think Last Resort is doing what they said they're gonna do, and it is a small company. So to come out with an improved shoe that's much better within 2 years of even launching the company, I think is a good sign that this company will be around for a while, and they will be making probably one of the best skate shoes in my subjective opinion. I'm not a walking billboard. They're really clean, really slick, and they're really durable, and they just look good on my feet. So hopefully you guys like this little update review. Let me know down below if you want to see more of like a long-term update on the shoes, like to see how the durability lasts in like a month or so. Subscribe if you're not already, smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and join the channel members. I'm working on my backyard. I'm looking at it right now. I gotta go do some more work on it. All the DIY from the backyard is on the channel members. So if you want to support me on my mission of building more DIY, you can do that. I love you. Mash.